She slapped me. Right there, in front of 130 guests. Music still playing. Glasses mid-toast. A photographer froze in place, shutter half-pressed. I didn't flinch. She wanted my apartment. The one I raised my son in. The one her husband was born in. She wanted it handed over like a bouquet. And when I told her no, gently, with a smile, she struck me. I tasted blood and silence. And then I left, walked through the stunned crowd with the kind of calm that frightens people more than fury. My heel broke on the steps outside. I didn't stop. I pulled out my phone. 30 minutes later, a man appeared at the doors of the hall. When they saw who it was, they began to cry. It started 5 years ago, when she first came into our lives. Anna. All long lashes and polite smiles. She made my son laugh in a way I hadn't seen since his father died. She called me Mama on day 3. Made tea the way I liked it by week 2. I thought I'd found a daughter, someone who'd help stitch our little family back together. But stitches can hide rot. It began small, a missing necklace, a snapped comment. The way she watched me when she thought I wasn't looking. Then came the sudden urgency for my son to get his name on the deed, just in case something happened to me. She said it with a laugh, but her eyes never laughed with her. I let it go, because I loved my son, and because I was raised not to embarrass people who smile in your face while sharpening knives behind your back. But I started watching, closely. The proof came wrapped in carelessness. A message on my son's phone I picked up by mistake. Her voice, another man's name, laughter. I saved the audio, sent it to my lawyer. That same week, she cornered me in the kitchen and asked, no, told, me to sign over the apartment. Said it would be easier for family planning. Said I was getting older and wouldn't want the stress. I just looked at her. She mistook my silence for compliance. That was her first mistake. I didn't fight her, not publicly. I baked cakes, smiled in photos, clapped at her bridal shower. But I was documenting every word, every threat, every transfer she tricked my son into making. I hired an investigator. I changed my will. I prepared the apartment, cleaned out valuables, changed the locks, installed cameras. I told my son nothing. Not yet. He was still under her spell. But spells break. Then came the wedding. Lavish. Overdone. She walked in like a queen. During the speeches, she took the mic and said, "Now that we're truly family, Mama, we'd love for you to hand over the apartment keys today, right now." A symbolic gesture. Laughter. Applause. She turned to me, eyes daring me to say no. I said no. She slapped me. Gasps. Then silence. I left without a word and made the call. 30 minutes later, the music stopped. A man walked in. Tall, sharp suit, familiar jawline. Her ex-husband. She'd told everyone he was abusive, missing, dead. Turns out he was just gagged by a financial NDA. Until I paid him more. He handed over photos, texts, court statements, everything. Right there in front of her family, her guests, my son. My son turned pale, then green. And when she reached for him, tears now, the crowd frozen, he stepped back. 1 foot, then another. Her father called her name. She didn't turn. She just stared at me, like I'd crawled out of her nightmares. By midnight, the marriage was annulled. The guests had fled. My son sat on the floor of the bridal suite, shaking. He asked, "How long did you know?" I said, "Long enough." It's been 3 months. The apartment is quiet again. I moved the piano back by the window. My son visits every Sunday now, alone. Sometimes he asks if I regret it, blowing it all up. I tell him, no. You don't regret setting fire to a house full of termites. You rebuild, stronger, And next time, you don't ignore the soft scratching behind the walls.